if I want to do 52 divided by 4/10, okay, that's going to look like this, 52 divided by 4/10. I can't divide by a decimal. So what I have to do is I have to get rid of the decimal. And I can do that by basically I'm multiplying 4/10 times 10. Okay? If I multiply it by 10, it's really going to make that 4. So I'm getting rid of the decimal. To make that not completely different answer, if I multiply the divisor by 10, I need to multiply the dividend by 10. So there was no decimal, but if there was, it would have been here, and I'm going to move it over one place because that's how much I moved it in the divisor. So I'm going to put a 0 right there because I multiplied it by 10, so that would be 520. Now I'm going to just do my regular division, and I could bring that decimal up if I'd like to. And I know if I'm going to do my tic-tac-toe chart. Four can go into 5. The closest I can get is 4, which is multiplying it by 1. Subtract, and I get 1. Bring down my 2. The closest 4 goes into 12 is 12, which is multiplying it by 3. And then I bring my 0 down, and 4 goes into 0 times, which is 0. So my answer is 130. Okay, I could use my knowledge about multiplication of decimals to check this. Okay, so I'm going to erase this so I've got room to do this. If I knew that I had 52 times 4/10, whoops, just kidding. I would be multiplying 130 times 4/10, and my goal is to get 52, because that was my original problem, right? So 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 3 is 12, carry my 1, 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Okay, but I didn't start with 520, I started with 52. Well, how many digits after the decimal point in the factor? That's how many should be in the product. So that means it's going to be 52 decimal point 0, which is just equal to 52. So that's what I started with, so that means I am correct. Okay, let's do another problem. 3 69/100 divided by 3/10. So if I set that up, it's going to look like this. Okay, I can't divide with a decimal because I can't say how many times can 3/10 go into 3 holes. Well, 3/10 can go into 3 holes more than, it can go in there more than one time, right? More than 9 times. So I have to get rid of the decimal. So I'm going to do that by moving the decimal over to the right. And since there's just one place, that's how many I'm moving it, which is like multiplying it by 10. So if I did that in the divisor, I got to do it in the dividend. So I'm going to put it right here. So now it's 36 9/10 divided by 3. It's the same thing because I multiplied them both by 10. Okay, and then I just bring the decimal straight up once I've moved it over. So I'm going to do my division. Okay. The closest I can get to 3 without going over is 3, which is multiplying it by 1. Subtract, I get 0. Bring down my 6. The closest I get to 6 without going over is 6, which is multiplying it by 2. Subtract, I get 0. Bring down my 9. The closest I get to 9 without going over is 9, which is multiplying it by 3. Subtract, and I get 0. So my answer is 12 3/10. I can check this by multiplying 12 3/10 times 3/10 and see if I get 3 69/100 because that was my original problem. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. Count your decimal places. There's 1 in that factor and 1 in that factor, so that means there's 2 total. So it'll go right there, 3 69/100. So that means I am correct. Okay, let's look at this next one. 4 23/100 divided by 3/100. I can't have a decimal in my divisor, so I need to move it out. So I'm going to move this 1 2 places over, which is multiplying. It's like multiplying it, well, it is multiplying it by 100. That's what we're doing. So however many places you move it in the divisor, that's 2 places there, right? I need to move the decimal in the dividend 2 places the same direction. So 1 2. So there's my decimal, and then I bring it straight up. Okay, and then you just do your regular division. Okay, what about this one? And I'm totally just making these up, so okay, 1/10, that's what that says. So it's 52 3/10 divided by 1 1/10. I have to get rid of the decimal. So what am I going to do? I'm going to move it 1 place here, so that becomes 11, and that means I need to move this one place, and then bring it up. So my new problem is 523 divided by 11. Now figure out what the next problem would be. Okay, I have 98 5/10 divided by 15/100. Figure out just where the decimal would end up going. Don't worry about the division right now. I just completely made the problem up. I need to move the decimal out of the divisor, so that means I'm going to move it 2 places. So in the dividend, I'm going to move it how many places? I moved it 2 places to the right there, so I need to move it 2 places to the right in the dividend. So that's 1 2. Okay, well there's nothing there in that spot, so I have to put a 0 there to hold it, right? And then I can just bring the decimal up. So that changes this problem into 9,850 divided by 15. I hope this helps.